तो हमने सर को बुलाया है, मुश्ताक बर्क सर. ही हैज़ बीन माई टीचर. हमने उनके पास पढ़ा है एंड ही इज़ वन ऑफ दोज पर्सनैलिटीज़ इन माई लाइफ जिन्होंने एक मुझे नई ट्रेजेक्टरी दी. आई वॉज अ साइंस स्टूडेंट. मेरा साइंस में चल रहा था मेड नॉन मेड तरीके से. फिर ही इज़ द वन जिन्होंने मुझे थोड़ा डायरेक्शन अलग दी, तो मैं इकोनॉमिक्स की तरफ गया एंड देन फिर IAS वगैरह वो देख लिया. तो ये वो टीचर है जो पढ़ाई के साथ साथ पर्सनालिटी बनाते हैं इंसान की, और आई एम वेरी प्राउड कि मैं उनको बुला रहा हूँ. और मैं उनके साथ स्टेज भी शेयर नहीं कर सकता बिकॉज ही हैज़ बीन माई टीचर. और 18-20 साल से पढ़ा रहे. तो वो आपका इंग्लिश ले रहे हैं और कमाल के टीचर है. ही है, उनकी 3-4 किताबें हैं. एक किताब उनकी साहित्य अकेडमी में गई है और इट्स वेटिंग फॉर द रिव्यू ऑफ द कमेटी. उनकी नॉवेल्स है, आपको बहुत फेमस है, उनके आर्टिकल्स आते हैं. तो वो आ रहे हैं आपका इंग्लिश लेने के लिए. इंग्लिश में उन्होंने कहा है कि मे बी 12 दिन में आपका कंप्लीट हो जाएगा, पर उनको फुल छूट है. वो जितना टाइम लेना चाहते हैं वो फुल टाइम ले सकते हैं. ठीक है, तो मुश्ताक बर्क साहब आएंगे आपको इंग्लिश पढ़ाने के लिए अगले 12 दिन के लिए. उसके बाद हमारा प्रोग्राम है आपका कंप्यूटर शुरू करने का. कंप्यूटर सॉरी स्टैटिस्टिक्स या मैथ.
Assalamu alaikum. Guys, great. Before we start, first of all, we must know that we are human beings, right? And we should behave as human beings, right? If you bid a salam to someone, you will be blessed with 10 blessings, and if you obey back, you will be blessed with 20 blessings. And never forget to say as-salam. Alif is very important for that. If you say Assalamu alaikum, you are saying someone, may you be deprived of parents. He says wa alaikum salam, may you same to you. So alif is very important, very important. Okay, now I need also one question. I'll check how much you need from me. Anybody who is very efficient to say, can you tell me what is verb? Yeah. One definition from the class. What is verb? मैं थोड़ा बहरा हूँ, जोर से. You अच्छा. You mean say you want to say this verb is a word of action. How many of you say words is a verb of action? I want to see the hands raising. How many of you? How many of you? All of you? Sure? Sure? ये 7th grade की definition है. Okay, now tell me, if I say where is action? Where is action? If you say, for instance, you say verb is a word of action. Is there any verb in the sentence? No. Is there any verb in the sentence? Somebody says auxiliary. Yeah, please. Auxiliary. So verb is there. So then you say is the word of action. Where is the action? So your definition for verb is not complete. I don't say you're wrong. It's not complete. At least verb must qualify 3 attributes. Number 1, existence. Please write down. Existence. Second, feeling. You don't write? Okay, sorry. And the last one is action. So what is the complete definition of a verb? A word that shows existence, feeling or emotions, and third, very important, action. So if you say is a word of action, your definition is half. It is not complete. If a student of 7th class will say is a definition is a word of action, okay, we say okay, pat. But when you are writing an examination, when you have to pass the examination, when you have to crack the examination, you must know the very essence of the grammar. By the way, what is grammar? What is grammar? Can you give me 5 minutes? I'll give the detail. Okay, please bear me 5 minutes, because all the language teachers have actually ruined the grammar. They have made it so boring. That's why we people at the graduation or post-grad levels are not able to find it interesting. And the reason is it has not been taught. It has been cramped to you, forced to you. See what happened. When man started to exist on earth, he was in need of communication. So he made signs. He started with sign language, right? Now the question is, down the generation, who was there to teach others how to make the sense of it? Therefore the images were converted into words. And when you say words, very important was the sound of the words. How many of you know English language is not a language, is not a written form of language, it is sound based language. Sound based language. So therefore what is most important? Sound. Now if you say sound, Jazakallah. So I was saying sound based, right? Sound based. So when you talk of the sounds, there are two important words. One is vowel sound, one is consonant sounds, right? After the vowel and the consonant sounds, most important thing that appeared now is how to draft it now. We all know what to say, but we never know how to say. We know what to write, but we don't know how to write. This how is grammar, syntax. So it shows the way how to write, how to put your ideas rightly. For that, the most important thing in the grammar is tense. But before tense, we must clear with by definition we know it shows existence, it shows state, feeling, emotion and action. Clear? Acha. The first and the most important verb is be. Have you heard about family tree? head of the boy, head of the family, then the branch. This is the hierarchy of the verbs. In present tense, we use this be in the form of is, am. Clear? Actually what we have to use? Be, but we are using its forms is, am, are. In the past tense we use it as was and were. Say were. Where is this? Now why I say this? See the defect of sounds. So we must also know the proper sound of a word. Say were, were, where. Is where, is were, right? Okay, so it is present tense, it is past tense. How many tenses are there? Make me count, okay? Say present, past, present, past and? Okay, sure. चौथा नहीं है. Sure. चौथा भी है क्या? नहीं है? Great. So now in between them there is has, have, had, been, being, do, does, did. Right? What is the difference between did and does? Very important. Do and does. Okay, do and does. What is the difference between do and does? Do is present, does is past. Wow. What? Third person के लिए does. Why? That's the question. Why? Okay, good. Singular? Does is singular verb. Okay, what is the plural verb? Okay, Nani. What is difference between singular and plural? Count one. Okay, plural? More than two. What arguments with verb? What makes you feel that I need singular verb and I need plural verb? What is the most important product that qualifies whether I should use singular verb or plural verb? Yeah. Subject, great. Somebody has said. See, the question is, you know what is a sentence? Yeah. A group of, we say GOW. Group of, it is incomplete. A group of words, we give complete. अच्छा, अब मैंने आपको पकड़ लिया. Now I got what I have to teach you. When you say group of words with a complete sentence, this is a definition of a sentence by definition. By definition. We are here to learn syntax. Syntax means grammar. So this is not the definition then. This is definition of the sentence when you describe sentence. But when you write sentence, you need syntax. It says it is an arrangement of subject, verb and object. Please write down. Is an arrangement of subject, verb and object. Subject, verb and object. What is subject? काम करने वाला. Object, जिस पे काम किया जाए. What is verb? काम. नहीं, not action, please. Don't say action only. जिस पे काम किया जाए. ठीक है ना? That can be either feeling or existence or action. Clear? So the important question is how. Yeah, please. हाँ बोलिए. So important question is how you will use this be. If this be is correctly used, all the tenses are correct. So we need to train ourselves how to use this be. There are 5 ways you can use this be correctly. How many ways? 5 ways. Right? Okay, number 1. before we go to the 5 ways, I need to learn from you. Throughout my life, I have learned from students. I confess. No book has helped me, right? Because all grammar books have confused me. I have learned from the students. Before me, you are 70 open books. And I learned from you, honestly. But tell me, how many types of verbs? 3. Okay. How? 1? Transitive. Intransitive. Okay. You are mixing the third one. Okay. Stay there. Somebody else. Yeah, sure. Please. Okay. You are talking in terms of definition. I am talking in terms of syntax. देखो ग्रामर का जो रूल है ना, we are not here to learn how to speak. That is a different course. We are here to learn how to write. So therefore what is important? Syntax. सारा खेल इन तीनों का है. For example, if the action of the subject is transferred to the object. If the action of the subject, आप लिख के रखिए. If the action of subject is transferred to object, the verb is called transitive. अब यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा आप बोर्ड पे 2 मिनट चाहिए. The question will be, from the given sentence, analyze the sentence. From a given sentence, analyze its constituents. So this is subject, write S. This is object, this is. Now see, he is laughing at him. Don't you think the action is transferred? When there is a transfer of action from subject to, we call it. So what is the basic structure of transitive verb? Subject, verb and object. For transitive verb, object is very important. Otherwise, action will not follow. तो ट्रिक क्या है, आपको कैसे समझाएगा ये ट्रांजिटिव वर्ब है? इट मस्ट हैव ऑब्जेक्ट, क्योंकि एक्शन को ट्रांसफर होना है. अच्छा, नाउ अगर हम ये ऑब्जेक्ट रिमूव करेंगे, फॉर इंस्टेंस द एक्शन ऑफ सब्जेक्ट रिमेन कन्फाइंड टू द सब्जेक्ट. सेकेंड, if the action of subject is confined to subject, the verb is called intransitive. If the action of subject is confined to subject, if the action of subject is confined to subject, the verb is called intransitive. For example, see this again. I have removed the object. So what is the example? He laughed. So in case of intransitive object, object is missing. What was more needed in transitive? Object. What is missing in intransitive? Object. When there is no object, तो action क्या होगा? Subject पे ही रहेगा. So therefore there is no transit. When there is no transit of action, we call it intransitive. Clear? अच्छा. Now, अब ये चीज सीख लीजिए. दिस इज फॉर यू. इतना सारा पढ़ना पड़ा ओनली बिकॉज ऑफ दिस. इफ वी ड्रॉ अ लाइन, लेट अस सपोज वी कॉल इट अ टाइम लाइन, राइट? द पॉइंट इन द मिडल ऑफ इट वी कंसिडर एज अ प्रेजेंट टेंस. What should be on the right side? Why? Because all present tense leads to future tense. If there is a reference of the past, we go anti-clockwise. It is past tense. So we have present tense, past tense and future tense. अच्छा, एक और confusion है आपको. What is can? Or yeah, simple. Will. What is will? Future tense. Would क्या है? अच्छा, future का भी past होता है. If somebody asks you, what is would, हम क्या बोलेंगे? Simply क्या बोलेंगे? Past tense of future का भी past tense होता है. You must say, right? Remember, is past equivalent. Past equivalent, not past tense. So would is the past equivalent of will. Should is the past equivalent of shall. Right? So this is not exactly the past. This is the past equivalent. So now here is our point. When you talk of present tense, there are two ways of showing present tense. One is Indian grammatical जो corrections है, and another is UK based जो format है. I'll prefer you to learn UK based format. Not only for the exam, for the rest of your life. Right? So that is more simpler, and I think that has not been introduced. That should have been introduced in the class 7. Right? यहाँ पे क्या होता है कि Indianization of grammar. Right? We will remove that tag today. Clear? So there are 4 options. आप ये समझिए. There are 4 options to clear a tense. How many? 4. For example, I am here. My present is here. I am present, but I am not doing anything. There is no time limitation. There is no time definition. If you are doing something in the present situation, especially habit, custom, habit and custom, and time duration is not given, we call it present. Don't say indefinite. Present simple. So first is present. अब मैं आपको यहाँ पे एक एग्जाम में क्रैक करने का ट्रिक भी साथ साथ सुना. It needs formula subject plus verb 1 plus object. Subject plus verb 1 plus object. Now somebody may ask, sir, what is V1? Is a root form of verb. Without ed, without t, without ing, without s. If the verb, for example, if the verb is in its original form without adding s, d, t, ing, right, we call it verb of first form. So what is the formula for present simple tense? Subject, verb of first form and object. Now frame the sentence and show me. Frame a sentence on the structure. Right. When you're learning grammar, please don't say anything. Just put it on the paper. Yeah, anybody from, yeah, please. आप बोलिए sentence. Anybody? Wrong. V1. Okay. अब मैं यहाँ पे आपका जो है ना, पहले हमारे पास है verb of first form, second form, third form, fourth form and fifth form. We have 5 forms of verb. Are you comfortable there? बोर्ड दिखता है. Verb of first order में क्या होता है? In its original form. In its original form. Verb 2 में क्या होता है? इसका ed लगता है. In second form, we use ed. But there is an option. There are 2 types of verbs regarding second form, regular and irregular verbs. All regular verbs take ed form, but irregular verbs are exceptional. For example, grow. We cannot grow, grew, and grown. So there are options. Regular verbs, write down. Regular verbs take ed form, and irregulars have no rule, but you have to learn them. For irregular verbs, you have to learn them. Now, what is V3? There is a lot of confusion. What is the difference between V2 and V3? When you are using V3, please attention. When you are using V3, in present tense you have to take care of has or have plus ed form. Then it becomes V3. What is difference between V2 and V3? In V2 you add ed or the second form, irregular form. But in V3 you have to take care of has or have in present tense plus V3. V2 या ed form. For example, cook, फिर cooked, has और have cooked. तो ये 1, ये 2, ये 3. ing अगर ऐड करेंगे cooking V5, V4. अगर s ऐड करेंगे V5. So, what is the first form of verb? Root form. Second form, add ed. Third form, in present, use has, have plus ed. Fourth, use ing. And fifth, when you are using s. Clear? Clear? Sure? आगे चले? So, please. बोले? I will repeat, don't worry. बोले. A good students have always a good question. ठीक है? अच्छा, मैंने बोला I cook food. Remember this. I cook food. कब किया? We know it's a present. But is there time duration? There's what Indian grammar say indefinite. But we say simple. Now, if I am doing something, I am doing and you are watching me. And still I am continuing it. I am not stopped it. Never. That is the point. What do you mean by word continuous? Yeah, there will be no end. So this is not exact context. We must say present progressive. Present, it progresses. So second tense will be present that's why Indian grammar says present continuous. We must say present progressive because we progress to second, third stage. If you say continuous, there will be no end to it. Right? So better is to say progress. Now, यहाँ पे आपको थोड़ा सा देना ध्यान पड़ेगा. Whenever you are using progressive tense, present tense में, past tense में और future tense में, you take use of. That's why we have discussed be in the first place. So यही subject करेंगे. I, this be in first form I के साथ क्या आएगा? Am. फिर क्या आएगा? V5 plus object. यहाँ पर आप सिंगुलर प्लूरल का कंफ्यूजन दूर करेंगे. I is singular, so I के साथ am आएगा. फिर V5 में ing ऐड होगा तो राइट को राइटिंग बनेगा एंड लेटर. अगर थर्ड फॉर्म होगा she is writing a letter, they are writing a letter. Clear? So if you have to convert present simple into progressive, this is the formula. ing form. Right? So isn't it better to say progressive? Because we are now progressing to something else. What will be third stage? You have watched me walking at one time, I'll stop. The time I have spent in doing work, I have spent some time. So work done against time spent. For example, मैंने काम किया, फिर मैं कर रहा था, ठीक है? मैंने टाइम लिया और काम भी किया. At one place, I have finished this work, but I have consumed time. This is the third one. This is the Can you tell me what will be the third form? जी बेटा हाँ, present perfective. Present perfective. Write down. अब देखिए इसी को हम कैसे कन्वर्ट करेंगे. What is the third? Present perfective. तो फॉर्मूला क्या है? सब्जेक्ट परफेक्टिव में हम क्या यूज करते हैं? हैज या हैव प्लस V3. तो क्या लिखेंगे? हैज और हैव प्लस V2 या V3 ही प्लस ऑब्जेक्ट. आई हैव written a letter. Now please concentrate on this. V3 must have has or have in perfective tense. So I have written a letter. So what is the formula? I is this goes with subject, this is perfect tense, and this is object. Clear? And what is the fourth one? नहीं see simple, यही तो नहीं टीचर ने बोला आपको. Combine these two is the fourth. Combination of these two. What will be? Present perfective progressive. Write down. Fourth one is present perfective progressive. Present perfective progressive. इन दो की कॉम्बिनेशन तो क्या होगा? सब्जेक्ट प्लस हैज बीन हो गया परफेक्टिव. फिर क्या लगाना है? प्रोग्रेसिव का V4 प्लस ऑब्जेक्ट. सो क्या होगा सेंटेंस? आई हैव बीन राइटिंग a letter. अब इसमें ऑप्शन है. फॉर हायर स्टडीज के लिए एक ऑप्शन है. पहले आप ये समझो क्या बोला मैंने. कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ 2 and 3 is equal to 4. To combine two formulas, you will get the fourth one. See, I have been writing a letter. आप मुझे पूछेंगे कब से, कितने टाइम से. So in addition to it adds point of time and period of time. Since and for. Since क्या होता है? Point of time. For होता है period of time. So in present progressive, perfective progressive, you must add subject plus have been plus V4 plus object plus either point of time or period of time. Now convert the sentence. I have been writing a letter since morning. तो प्रोग्रेसिव में क्या आता है? प्रोग्रेसिव परफेक्टिव में पीरियड ऑफ टाइम एंड पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. दैट मेक्स इट डिफरेंट फ्रॉम प्रेजेंट परफेक्टिव. सो व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन प्रेजेंट परफेक्टिव एंड प्रेजेंट परफेक्टिव कॉन्टिन्यूअस? In your term, in present perfective progressive, we use point of time and period of time. In perfective, we end it with object. Clear? Clear? Now, there is a question for you. How can we convert these sentences into affirmative and negatives? अब now एक कुछ नहीं करना है. We'll do 17 exercise in one with one example. See, when I set a paper, I don't make the students to write present simple tense. I give him the conversions. For example, when you say something, there are only two options. Either you will be saying affirmative or negative. Right? या एक तो या पॉजिटिव आएगा. My teacher used to call it positive. क्योंकि उससे रिदम बनती है ना, पॉजिटिव एंड नेगेटिव. या तो हम पॉजिटिव एफर्मेशन देंगे या नेगेटिव देंगे. ठीक है. अगर पॉजिटिव देना है remove not. remove, अगर नेगेटिव देना है add not. फॉर एग्जाम्पल प्रेजेंट सिंपल का आप नेगेटिव बोलिए. I write a letter. What is the sentence? What is the sentence? Why? Subject, verb 1, object. Can we put interrogation or negation mark here? No. So we have 4 options for each tense. One is this, one is interrogative. Do I write a letter? तो आपका आंसर क्या होगा? Yes or no? Do you know there are 2 questions? 2 type of questions. One's called a tag question, one's called a descriptive questions. What are descriptive questions? Any question starting with 9 W's. Please write down. Question starting with 9 W's. Can anybody pronounce the word W? It is W. W. It is W. Like that. 1, 2. It is W, not W. It is W. Question starting with 9 W's. 9 W's के पता है वो कौन का लिस्ट है? देखिए, what, when, where, which, how भी उसमें भी W है. Right? So they are 9. Write down the list of 9 W's. What, when, which, how, where. 9 W's बना दो, ये भी पता है. When, which, why, where, what, who, whose, why, 9 और how. अब यहाँ पे देख लीजिए मसला क्या है. If ये है, ये आपको सीखना है. If the question starts with 9 W's, आप लिखिए. If the question starts with 9 W's. If the question starts with 9 W's, the answer must be descriptive. The answer must be descriptive. I'll demonstrate it in the class. See. What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? Wrong answer. My name is Sakib, because I told you when you start a question with 9 W's, you need to give a description. What's your name?
My name is Sakib.
That's correct. Is this your pen?
Yes.
Okay. So now this, when you start with auxiliary, is, am, are, you only need yes or no. Write down. When you start the question with auxiliary, when you start a question with auxiliary, the answer must be affirmation or negation. Yes or no. The answer must be yes or no. Now, when you start a question with auxiliaries, auxiliary is, am, are, was, were. Primary auxiliary bracket में लिखिए. So if I say, how is your health? Yeah, hello beta. What's your good name? Kamran. Tanveer. Okay, how is your health? No, how is your health? Answer properly. How is your health? Let him. How is your health? How is your health? Confusion की जब मैंने क्वेश्चन किया ना 9 W से, you need to give the descriptive answer. Right? Do you want to leave? Hello? Do you want to leave? No. No and yes. Because it's not 9 W's. So, we have learned the trick. When the question is posed by 9 W's, we need to give a description. Where do you live? I live at. So, this is the answer. She cannot say Baramulla. The answer is wrong. So, क्या सीखा? When the question is posed by 9 W's, we need to give descriptive. But when it is auxiliary, yes or? In yes or no question, we call them tag questions or tag answers. जी. Yeah.
The person who will give the answer is absolutely right in the grammatical terms if he is asked by the W questions. Like for instance, an interview is doing interview to somebody.
Okay.
Now, if he won't consider if he is asking me a WH questions or.
Of course. What is the interview for? Okay. By the way, do you know what is interview? They are not checking your information. They have the pack of information. They check your personality and wit. Only two things: wit and personal. Bas, nothing else. See, believe me. I worked with British Council for 2 years at Delhi. When I was asked a question in the interview, I had not seen hanging a projector. It was not in Kashmir, honestly. I had not seen it. So my interviewer, there are 5 people, they say, can you explain this? I'm like, okay, why not? Now the question is, I was well prepared. Second, they asked me, what is your favorite novel? Which novel you have recently read? I thought to myself, this is to all of you. See how you have to face the interview. I asked myself, if I say this novel, he will just pull me down. He must be knowing better than me. I created an answer. So nowadays I'm reading a novel that's called The Red. There is no novel like Red. Who has written it? I know I have to purchase a name that is very common. I say Gibbs. He's a cricket player. I say I can remember it. Gibbs. Sir, haven't you read that? It's a wonderful novel. Okay, can you explain me the gist of it? I start cooking the stories. Honestly, I swear. Achha, at the end they say, I know there was no such novel called Red. I know it, sir. But you have passed the examination. So this is only wit. An interview is only wit. They have the information. So if you say, what is your good name? He is allowing you to speak. If you say, Majid, okay, you're gone. So why we need to learn grammar? This is very important. Because we are not applying it. Somebody asks you, what is your phone number? 933. So my phone number is this. That is the proper way of answering the question. That's the proper way of applying grammar. We are using applied grammar. Right? Somebody says, is this your pen? Of course that this is my pen. Not at all. Yes sir? No. Simple. Right? One more question that was very common. What is the color of the wall behind you? Yeah, you last boy. Get up for a minute. Without looking at the wall, what is the color of the wall behind you? Why? It is the front. It is in the front. It must be in the it must be same. This is how they use the width, how they check the width. How many stairs are when you raise from lower level to the second level? Who has counted? Say 15. Sir. Be confident. 15. Be confident. Yeah, of course. They only need you to be confident. No, that is the way. When you are expertise, when you are allowing yourself to be interviewed, they are actually checking up your conscious and your presence of mind. Now there are 2 types of interview. One is subjective. For example, you are opting for KS and IS, wherein these questions appear they are foolish questions, wherein you need to be very subjective and objective. And
but in the contemporary times, we are having the transition in the
linguistic. When you talk of linguistics in India and linguistics in UK, there is a hell of a difference. English in contemporary India has been Hindized. It has become the victim of Hindi. Right? You can never ever see Arundhati Roy. Have you read anything of her? If you read her books, it is not at all English. It is not at all English. It is a mixture. Why? Because she will be more understood by the language which people understand. So when you talk of pure literature and pure phonetics, then we need to be experts. And believe me, English is our 3rd language. We can never ever master it. Come what may, because it is our 3rd language. For example, we are running with the notion the one who can speak better English is intelligent. Intelligence has nothing to do with the English. No, nothing with fluency, nothing with vocabulary. And if you go to England, inshallah, you'll say if you have to ask for the address, you say, hello gentlemen, which way is Washington? You say, this way. Simple. It is in non-English spoken countries. We stress on grammar. They don't use grammar in day-to-day language. Like for example, we speak Kashmiri. If a foreigner will come to university and learn Kashmiri, he will speak better than us because he has been taught under the syntax. That is the problem with non-native speakers and native speakers. If you go to South India, they drop L, T and R. Yeah, and then if you go to Trivandrum, they pronounce R for 3 times. Sir, how are you? Because that's called MTI, mother tongue influence or interference, right? Okay. Now, so there are 2 types of questions: WH questions, wherein we need to describe, description. There are tag questions, wherein we need yes or no. Okay. Now come to this. What if I say negative? Don't I write a letter interrogative negative? Don't I write a letter is interrogative negative. So एक tense के कितने बन गए? Present simple, interrogative and interrogative negative. आपके क्वेश्चन आता है, आपका टैग नहीं होगा, यहाँ पे टैग नहीं होगा. This word will be missing and there will be a question mark. So you need to understand he is asking me a question. So when I am saying I have no other option but to use do. Now see, अगर मैं am करता हूँ, am I writing a letter? Then I have to use ing form. Clear? I have to do. तो याद रखो एक trick है. When you use is, am, are, write down is, am, are, was, were. When you use is, am, are, was, were, is, am, are, was, were, ठीक है ना? With subject, आंखें बंद, use ing form. ये नहीं लिखना आंखें बंद, use ing form. So what is ing form actually? Progressive tense, right? It's a progressive tense. Clear? So अब इस लाइन की तरफ और देखिए, हम यहाँ पे थे, फिर काम किया, फिर कोई काम मुकम्मल हो गया. It will end up in future. 4-4:30 बजे हमारी क्लास थी. It will go up in 5:30, then 5:30 के बाद 6:30. Can we call 6:30 past tense, future tense? Then tomorrow there are two reasons, 2 conditions: immediate future and absolute future. 6:30 6:30 क्या होगा? Immediate future. कल क्या होगा? Absolute future. वो कितना grammatical differences है. We have been taught that anything precedes present tense is future, but we must understand this is absolute future and immediate future. अच्छा, हो गया ये. Now, what is difference between present tense and past tense? Present tense and past tense. Yeah, please. आप बोलिए. How can you distinguish between present tense and past tense? Yeah, past tense. When you talk of past tense, do you think you have to go forward or backward? Backward. So we need to go backward direction, you either need ed form, was and were. ed form, was, this is a reversal form. This is एक sentence लिखिए, all present tense leads to future tense. All present tenses, all present tense leads to future tense. Leads to future tense. अब past, इसको present को past करो, यही 4 फॉर्म फिर लिखो. Past simple, फिर past progressive, फिर past progressive, past perfective, past progressive, perfective. Write down. जहाँ पे is, am, are है, वहाँ पे replace करो was, were के साथ. So what is your formula for present past simple? Subject plus did second form. Yeah, second V2. What is the difference between V2 and V3? You last boy with specs. Yeah, what is the difference between V2 and V3? See the answer.
In V2 we use lost ed.
Okay.
In V3 we use have or this have.
हाँ, देखो confusion क्या है. All students who are non-native speakers, they say V3 is past tense. V3 is not. It is used with has or have or had for perfective tense. तो क्या आएगी फॉर्मूला? सब्जेक्ट प्लस V3 प्लस V2 प्लस ऑब्जेक्ट. तो प्रोग्रेस में क्या आएगा? सब्जेक्ट प्लस वॉज सिंगुलर में, प्लूरल में वर, देन V5 एंड ऑब्जेक्ट. सेंटेंस बनाइए. इसको आप सेंटेंस में चेंज किए. आई रोट अ लेटर, I was writing a letter, I had written a letter, I had been written a letter, either since or. Clear? इसका conversion कीजिए. Negative. Have I? Haven't I? Did I? ठीक है. जो भी आप यूज करोगे ना, do, did, have, has, had, उसको ओपन करके फ्रंट में लाके क्वेश्चन बनता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, I have a pen. Make a question of it. I have a pen. Make a question. Yeah. Haven't you a pen? Whose pen is this? No. Nobody's answer. Whose pen is this?
This pen.
Why? 9 descriptive ones. In when you learn narration, remember that WH questions are the questions that are being asked. And we misuse WH questions with tag questions. Clear? Sure? कल मैं आपको ग्रामर ड्रिल प्रेजेंट पास्ट फ्यूचर का एक चार्ट बना देता हूँ ऑन द बोर्ड, एंड दैट इज फॉर द होल लाइफ. राइट? अच्छा, कुछ क्वेश्चंस है तो बोलिए. कुछ क्वेश्चंस है तो बोलिए. समझ आया? कुछ फर्क पड़ा? अब कुछ फर्क पड़ा?